Hi, this is Earth Angel Ascension 222, back with another video. Today's topic is going to be the two paths we have here. We have the path of the world and the path of truth. So, if you're a targeted individual, there's a chance you're not accepted here. No matter where you go, they just know that you're not like them. And they get like this look in their eyes, like, oh, he's here. So I ask this question every true targeted individual. What is it about your presence that bothers them so bad? If you're not doing anything, you're being kind, you're smiling, you're asking them how they're doing. What is it that makes them so angry with you for no reason? Why were you the scapegoat? Why did you were you treated your whole life like you weren't good enough or you don't belong here? Well, I have an answer for you. It's the spirit inside you is not the same as the spirits inside of them. You were chosen by the Holy Spirit and you're indwelt with it. And that does not happen from a church. That happens from God's choosing. And his ways are not our ways. And it's sad because these same people that are hating you, you're being nothing but loving and kind to them. So it makes no sense why they have so much venom for you and want bad things for you, want you to fail, are jealous of you or envious of you. Like, I just asked this question. Listen to them talk amongst each other for 2 minutes, and you're going to get your answer right away. It's like they're on a different wavelength than you and I. And you're never going to be accepted on them because they're seeing things from like this shallow existence. And everything they do is never direct and straightforward. It has to be hidden because they're in darkness. You know, the light doesn't have to hide. It doesn't have to play fake with people. But that's their whole life. So when they're around you, and you're being upfront and truthful and honest and loving and direct with them, they don't want you to even speak because your speaking convicts them. I'm making these videos. Every day is life and death for me. Like, I go out and drive and they try to set up these different, like, I just pulled over just now and ate some Burger King because it was like every corner they had a cop car, a fire truck, an ambulance, roads blocked off. You know, I picked up like 2 people on Uber and they couldn't believe it either. It was just ridiculous. So I'm going to say this right now. If you ever get to this point, pull over, pray, get something to eat, replenish go somewhere where they can't be for a few minutes and just recharge your spirit because they're really after your soul and spirit. That's what this is. It's like wild. I did this study this week. Well, I did this like kind of scenario this week. I let a friend of mine, the only person I actually trust, take my car out for a few minutes, and I don't let anybody drive my car. And I said, I want you to drive because it's nighttime, and I want you to see if anybody high beams you from front or behind. And he said, Jim, I got to be honest with you. I didn't get high beamed once. So I was out tonight, and it was like every 2 seconds. I even was in the Burger King, and this car pulled in front of me and just had their beams on me. And so I turned my beams on and I went in the store. I'm like, you know what? Normally I'm just like passive about it, but I'm like, you know what? If you're going to do this stuff, I'm going to get out of my car. I'm just going to put my beams on to show you what you're doing. And I got out, they were gone. But of course they have to, they were sitting in the front of the store where there's like no reason to be there. But they want to lower our frequency. They want to make us feel like we don't have a right to be here and uncomfortable. And that's what the high beaming in the front and the back, along with, like I said, the airplanes that dive at my car and they fly over me and they follow my car all night long, which is just ridiculous. It really boils down to that biblical verse. If you were of them, they would accept you as their own. So I did have, like I said, a friend drive my car, and not once did he get high beams. He said from front or behind, to the best of his knowledge. And he said he was looking out for it. So, just sad that, as a targeted person, you can't even drive down the street and be left alone. I did have an angry episode yesterday, and I did get out of character. I was driving down the side street, and this guy in a pickup truck is going 5 miles per hour. And this is what they do. This is another technique. They put somebody in front of you at every corner that will pull out and go as slow as they possibly can. So all of a sudden, as I'm driving, this other car is approaching me, and it's just doing high beams up and down, up and down. And I go, okay, I'll just ignore it. But as he got close to my car, he dived at my car. So I fucking put my car in park, and I go, you, fuck you. And I just like went nuts. And he took off. See, they're cowards, man. It's like this stuff that they do, man. It's like they can't even control their own vessel. Like, they don't even know why they're doing it. But they definitely know when they've done something wrong. They definitely know. And the car took off as fast as could be. And it's like there was no reason for him. I was going only 5 miles per hour, so there was no, and I was all the way over to the right, and there was no reason whatsoever for him to, it was bad enough he was putting the beams on and off as he was approaching me to dive at my car. And, you want to strike me, like I said in my other videos, by the way, they did end up having to pay for my Altima and my collision and my medical. So, so much for their system. But if you got a problem with me, gladly come at me. But don't come after my stuff. It didn't do anything. You're after me. You're not after my stuff. Somebody said, I said, I will defend myself. I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm not going to beat somebody up. If they, try to attack me, I'm going to put them on their back and hold them there till the cops come. But if you come after my car, you're definitely going on your back. That's what it is, There's not a lot of things I value in this life, and I'm not materialistic whatsoever. But I didn't drive for many years because of this fucking program and their bullshit. So when I finally was able to get a couple cars, meaning the one they took out, I can't do anything. I did get my money for it. And now I have this car, my Maxima. I will defend my stuff because it's not a material thing. It's an accomplishment to me because of their system that has been against me since day one. It's this archonic system. I was never accepted by my family, and I still not. My sister had called me out of the blues, and like a fool, I went over there, and basically it was like my parents were going over there, so she had to get me out of the house as quick. Like, that's how scared they are. It's like, so what are you scared of? What are you scared of? And the thing about it is our presence convicts them. They cannot be around us. So if you're targeted or whatever, just rejoice, but spend time with the Lord. Go out on your own. Just go somewhere where they can't be, and just recharge. If you're working and you're in a place where you're work amongst people, it's going to be a little bit harder, See if you can find a spot where you can eat your lunch by yourself. Just spend time with the Lord. Pray up. Eat something, because a lot of times in this program, you lose your appetite because it's just like you're constantly have anxiety and you're constantly being provoked. You're like living like on the edge at all times. So it's very hard to like eat consistent meals, but it's very important because your food is your strength, man, in this program. It definitely will help you to get through a lot easier. But if you start to see like this stuff getting ugly like I just did, get away from it. Get away from it. Get out of it. It's just there. I went into Walmart because I had to get toilet paper, just my basic necessities. Like I get sea salt so I can shower and bathe in. What else did I get? And laundry detergent. And it was like wild, man. It was like they were coming at me from every fucking direction. And then I got out, and the security truck that goes around in the parking lot wouldn't let me get out of the parking spot, just sitting behind me until I almost got out of the car. I put my light on, I put the car in park, and that's like after 20 seconds, he finally took off because he saw that because these things like in them know, when they're doing something wrong, and like I said in other videos, no one has a right to impede you. When you're impeding somebody from going about their business, that's harassment. It's also a hostage situation. No one has a right to block your purpose or path. If you're in the gym and they start doing that shit, like they won't let you get by or whatever, you call the police. It's harassment. And this is what we have to deal with. Thank God I do have my own workout stuff, because I couldn't deal with these theatrics every fucking second. I want to work out. I want to be left alone. I just want to go about my business. I promise I will not get in your way. Just give me my space. Don't block my path. Don't walk at me and then just refuse to move. This is what they do. And then when I'm in my parking spot in my house, they do the same thing. They put these cars behind me so I can't get out, which is 100% illegal. It's harassment. They start doing this stuff to you. Get out. Tell them you got to leave, start filming, call the cops, and get their license plate on film, and, press charges against them. That's it. Because harassment, no one has a right to block you from going about your business and being free. Until they put handcuffs on me, I'm free. This program, they want your soul. That's what it boils down to. I'm rambling on a lot in this video, but I'm glad, because you know what? I'm going to tell it the way it is on my videos, and I'm not going to hold back anything. You know why? Because I don't know if tomorrow I might not wake up. They're definitely hitting me with a ton of chemicals in my house, the air quality from this stuff, whatever they're doing to my head. They've isolated me, which, in a way it's kind of good, because I love spending time with the Lord. I definitely feel it. Like, like humbled, like when I just go off on my own. Because, anybody going through this where they're not allowed to leave their space, like their house. They're not allowed to walk through a store. They're not allowed to leave the parking lot of a store. Every time they drive, they got fire trucks, ambulances, airplanes, cars trying to block them from moving, high beaming them, diving at them. I beg somebody to try this for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. I don't want to see anybody go through it. I'm not saying that, but just try it for 1 day and see what a true targeted person goes through. I guarantee you this, it will break most people's souls. It would break most people. They would go nuts. They would never be able to survive this. And I've gone through this stuff for years. They weren't showing me it to this degree when I was younger, but it was always there because I was never able to keep a license. Every time I was driving, I was pulled over. It was like ridiculous. I had accidents. They were not my fault. Back then, I didn't know how to speak up and go against their system, though. That's the biggest thing, too, is, see, we came into this realm, and let me explain what this is. We came into this realm, and they felt like, well, we're going to let you be alone a little bit, but you belong to us, and your job is to give us your energy and to make you feel bad, to get supply off of you so we can feel good. Now, the moment you start to stand in your own true power, guess what? This gang stalking gets real ugly. It goes from being covert to overt, because now you're taking away something they felt like belonged to them, and that's your soul and your spirit energy, which do not belong to them. It belong to the Lord and to you, number two. And then to give it out to people that, like the homeless or people that are broken. That's why we came here, is to help the people that are actually have already been chosen for the Lord, but they don't even know it. So we're here, and they will accept our message. So, and then you'll get the worlders, like I said, my family, that will just, for no reason, they have no reason. They can't even come up with a reason. They just hate you and reject you. And you just accept them. You just understand what they are, You're not one of them. You've been chosen out of them. There's no arrogance in it. It's just, you got to speak about this, because going through this for years and being targeted, being scapegoated, being made responsible for others' action, you know what? That can't sit inside. That's like poison. It has to come out. That's why I'm glad to make these videos. Even if I don't get any comments, I don't even give a damn. It just feels great to my soul to expose this program, and I'm going to expose it to the day I die. I can't wait to go home to heaven, because I've been like persecuted since day one here, from the rejection in the family, the scapegoating, the narc abuse. And it was narcissistic neglect. It was never steady, consistent love where, it was love as long as you met their emotional fake needs. Like, meaning, if they said something, you had to agree. You couldn't speak the truth, because if you spoke the truth, you weren't shown love and you were rejected that day. And that's what I've dealt with. That's narc abuse. Because narcissists hate the truth. They hate anybody that exposes the truth, because they live behind this fake mask. Everything about their life is a fake mask. Even how they deal with each other, they're all wearing fake masks. It's all surface. There's no depth of it. That's why they can't speak to you on the phone. They text you, because it's just, they refuse to have any true intimacy. I've picked up a lot of people, and we've had this talk, and I picked up a girl this morning. She says, "Oh my God, what has happened?" I said, I got 2 words for what's happened. Social media. It's created this mass narcissism where people feel like they have to attack others, for no reason, like this is like the gang stalking and these things. It's like these people don't even know. I don't think to the highest degree they know what they're doing, and like I said, I did get out of character. Was I glad for myself? In a kind of way, it felt good to stand up for myself. Like I said, you want to, throw a punch at me or whatever, that's fine. You want to attack me, I'm used to it. But if you want to attack stuff that I've worked really hard for that's not attacking you, we're going to have a problem on your hands. I'm not going to beat you up. But if you do come at me and you get out of your car, you're going to be 1,000,000% on your back. And I will call the police immediately. That's what it is. I'm not going to attack you. But if you do attack me, you will be on your back. I promise you that. There's a lot of power in this man. It's built up for all the years that I've dealt with this nonsense for no reason. It's one thing if I've done something wrong to somebody, then I can understand you coming at me and, trying to run into my car. But if I'm not even nowhere near you, there's no reason for this nonsense, and it's the demons in these people, it's 100%. They see your light in you and they want to attack it. So, I did start doing Uber, but I don't think I'm going to do it tonight because I just want to do laundry and just chill out and just let my soul recharge, take a nice salt bath. Sometimes as a targeted person, if you have enough money, don't worry about making more money. Money is not the happiness here. Like I said, I don't have anything here. Like I have an apartment that barely has a bed and a TV, and my clothes. And I don't want anything more because I realize that stuff of the world is not going to make me happy. And my car is an ends to a means because it's what I do for a living to survive, you know? And I will say this with openly and honestly. I had a dream. It was my dream to buy a nice Maxima. Back then in the 90s, they had like, it was a GXR Maxima or GXT. And my sister was dating a salesman, like one of the higher salesmen of a place called Central Nissan, and he had let me try one. In the 90s, they were ahead of, right now they're not ahead of their time, but back then they were ahead of their time. There was like the Camrys or the Accords didn't even compare. I mean, the way they handled the speed on them was like just ridiculous back then. So I go, if I ever, you know, get enough put away, I'll buy a nice Maxima. And I did buy the limited edition SR Midnight Edition, and I put some work into it to make it a little bit faster. Is it a good car? Is it the fastest car? No, it's not the fastest, but it looks like the Batmobile. In another video, I'll show pictures of it. And it definitely was my dream car. I don't want another car, you know, to get another car to, you know, flaunt around or whatever. I just want to drive this, and I'm going to get another cheap car to just do Uber. But, it's a quick video. Just, you know, if you're hated by these things and you're hated by these people, you know, just realize they're remote controllable. They're part of that. Like I said, they're all tethered together, you know. Don't give up. Don't get upset. At all times, they want to provoke you. Even like as I'm talking now, there's a car from behind and just sitting behind me. You can't see it over here, but it's like they want to disturb whatever we do. No matter what it is, they want to take away our rights to be ourselves, even though it doesn't even affect them, which is, you know, like I could understand if you were like in front of somebody's house or with your high beams on or whatever, but, you know, I'm going to show you real quick, like, or I can't switch it over, but I'm in like a parking lot of a school I went to, not bothering anybody. And it's like, they just can't leave you alone. It's like, because leaving you alone means leaving your frequency alone, and they're after stealing your energy and your power. So, and how they do that is by getting your attention. Where attention, hear this statement, where attention goes, energy flows, and they can't feed off of one another. They're all tethered together, but, you know, think of them like all as being flies, and you're like that, you know, you're the light bulb outside. They're all attacking that light, and that's what it boils down to. Make sure you bathe. Take sea salt baths and showers. Set strong boundaries. Don't put up with their bullshit. You know, don't be afraid to tell them off. You know what? You know, even as a Christian, you got to stand up for yourself, you know, and you don't have to be nasty. Just say, leave me the F alone. That's it. You know, because, you know, they don't understand, in their terminology, they don't understand when you're kind to them, they just attack you more. They see you as more of a sucker. It's like wild. Don't beat them up, but just set very strong, firm, and absolute boundaries that you won't take responsibility for their actions. They're responsible. And don't let them try to defy your boundaries by how they feel. Like that kid who wrote those videos that I'm very impressed with, he said, are you the feeling police or are you the law police? So, you know, and just tell them, you can feel any way you want. Your feelings are your responsibility. Your feelings are irrelevant to me. My boundaries are what I'm protecting. I'm only responsible for my boundaries. Don't cross them. And that's what they need to learn, because they never were taught. You know, they see you as their possession. You're not their possession. You're your father's possession here, and you're a prized possession. Otherwise, they would not be coming against you and trying to attack you. See, they have to attack you. Otherwise, they have to deal with themselves, and they're not going to do that because they don't want to take responsibility. So until next time, there's two systems here. You're in the world, or you're in the or with the Lord. There's no other. There's no in between. You know, there's no other different path. There's no church path. That's churchianity. You know, it's not Christianity. It's indoctrination. You know, they worship, like, and I'll say that even openly about these, like, Catholic Church. They worship these statues and they pray to the Mother Mary. You see them on their knees in front of them. They're not praying to, what are you doing? They say the rosary, which has the Hail Mary right in it. which is the detestment, because you worship God through Jesus Christ. That's it. Until next time, I love you. Don't stop fighting. If you do need to recharge, go somewhere. Take your time. Eat up. Pray up. Spend time alone. Because, you know, the one thing they don't want you to do is have time to refill. So that's what you need to do. They don't want you to have anything that takes you out of their eyes, basically, you know, because they don't feel like you have the same rights as they do. But guess what? You have just as much right as they do. And tell them that. I have just as much right as you do. I'm not under arrest. You have no right to block me. You have no right to impede me. You know, like impeding, like I said earlier in this video, impeding somebody is 100% harassment. And if they do that when you're driving somewhere, you go get out of your car and just take pictures and call the police. Take pictures of their license plate, you know, and film it. Because this way they don't have a leg to stand on. And definitely speak up, because their system thinks that we won't speak up. Even with that thing with my Altima, they didn't think I'd speak up, but I did. And you know what? I'm so proud of myself. That win wasn't just about getting that car money back. It was a win against this system. Until next time, I love you. Don't be a part of this system. It's soul scalping. They want your soul. They want you to become one of them. And that means walking around as a zombie trying to steal somebody else's energy and power so you can live another day. God bless you until next time.